All right, we are live.
Hopefully for good this time.
Sorry, guys. This
Sorry.
is our second attempt at this live show.
Yep. So, we are here for the second half of Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. If you have not read this, there will be spoilers aplenty, so be forewarned. Um, get out now.
Yeah, lots and lots of spoilers.
So, do you want to go over what we had already talked about?
Yeah, so we basically mentioned that the second half read so much quicker than the first half, and that I pretty much was able to read like 400 pages just like in one sitting.
Yeah. And I highly recommend, at least for me, I highly recommend this is a bingeable book for me versus trying to piecemeal it like I would a normal book. For whatever reason, I wasn't being pulled back to the story when I left it, but once I was in it, I was enjoying it.
I
So if
agree.
you are feeling like that, just sit down and make a day of it, and it really ups the enjoyment factor.
I agree, especially when you get to like that 350 page mark, it just like flies by.
Yes. Um,
Like I think if we hadn't of broken, well, I think that maybe more like page 400, it just like really starts to like move.
so do we want to talk about, gosh, there's so much to talk about.
There's so much that happened.
So, okay, what are you rating it first off?
I don't know because objectively this is like a 4.5 5-star book, but it's dark. It is so dark, guys.
But dark doesn't mean bad.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And I mean, like, were we really expecting a fluffy, nice book from Jay Kristoff? Like, come on, that
No.
is not his MO.
No. Well, it was in Illuminae Files, but he had a co-author.
Yes, and the co-author does contemporary, so I think that like influenced that. But also that there was some dark stuff in there too. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was not
no,
completely
you're right.
fluffy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Illuminae
Oh, I think
Files
you're
is
frozen.
not.
You've got to be kidding me if you're frozen. Oh my Lanta.
Oh, I'm not frozen on your end though.
Oh my god.
Hang
I'm
on.
on data. I don't know.
Wait.
This is
Wait.
not even my internet this time. Like I don't know, the universe is not wanting this live show to happen
Oh
apparently.
no. Wait, can you
You're
am I
unfrozen now.
unfrozen? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. I'm like I've got full internet and I'm connected into the Ethernet. So, I don't know.
Oh my god. We're
It's
gonna just
just
go with it.
well, yeah, we're just going to roll with it. Um what are you going to rate it? So like I don't know. It was a little slow at some points, but I mean, like, that's what happens when you have to world build. You can't always have, oh no, now you're frozen.
I'm still hearing you, so keep going. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah,
I'm not frozen on my side, so it's fine.
what a shit show.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, at least I can hear you, but you are frozen.
Just
I was
keep
gonna
going.
say,
It's fine.
with fantasy, you're gonna have some. You need world building. It's not gonna be like, like fast pace all the time. So I can't knock it for having slower moments because you need that. Um okay, what are you going to rate it?
So I was not enjoying, like, I was enjoying it, but I wasn't. Like, the way that I was talking about it was, if I was looking at it, um, like I was looking for it for like critique point of view of, the book was amazing, but my
Yeah.
enjoyment level was like at a 3 for like the first 400 pages, probably the first 350 pages. But it shot up
Mhm.
so much in the
I
last
know.
half
I
that
know.
I think it almost makes up for it.
I know.
I definitely prefer the storyline of like Dior storyline and versus when he was like an acolyte. Like that part did not interest me
I
as
agree.
much,
Yeah.
which is
I
very interesting because I normally do like that. Like
like
I like the whole training montage type of thing, but I didn't
yeah.
enjoy it.
Those like boarding school trope assassin training, even though he's not an assassin, but like that fight training
Yeah.
powers and all that stuff. Yeah, totally. I agree. I That was my least favorite, honestly, him as an initiate. I much preferred um Dior's and his journey and
Yes.
that storyline.
So I think it's got to be above a 4. Like
Yeah.
I was really debating on it being like, well, it's okay, but like this last half really took it over the edge for me.
Yeah.
I really hope you can still hear me because
I
you're frozen
can.
on my side, so
You're
I'm just gonna
frozen on
keep
my
going.
side.
Um, oh my God, can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. I can hear you. You're
Okay.
frozen. But I can hear you. We're basically doing a podcast. So it's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. But I think it's got to be above a 4 for me
Yeah.
because of how expertly crafted this was. Because, like we said before, there's nothing that I would have taken out of this, right?
Yeah, I
Like everything
know.
had,
Oh no. Hang on.
and then
Repeat what you just said.
everything has a purpose in
Yeah,
here that it's put in intentionally, and I think the way that he crafted it was such a high skill level
I
that it
agree.
would be. I think it's like a disservice to rate it anything lower than that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I
And my
completely
enjoyment
agree.
shot up so much at the end.
Yeah.
Well, in the last half, not even the end.
Yeah. By the way, you're unfrozen. You're laggy, but you're unfrozen.
Okay.
Um no,
This would be interesting to watch it play back.
I know, I know. Hopefully it's not so bad on YouTube. But no, I totally completely agree. And also like the problem is that like the initiate portion, like when he is at the school, like that's important. We need that storyline.
Yeah.
Um and I kind of like at first I was wondering like, well, is it necessary with him telling his tale? Like could this have been a story told from beginning to end versus him jumping back and forth? But I feel like it would have been too long. Like we're talking about a story from when he's 15 to like over a decade later. That would have
Yeah.
made it way too long of a story. Or we would have had that, it would have had a huge, like, 10 years later. Um, and so I do like that he was able to skip over some of the non-essential bits, I guess, of the story. Like we got the important parts of him and building relationships with like Aaron and Baptiste and Greyhound and him at in the cathedral, and then like him and Astrid, and then after that we got to like fast forward because like we didn't need to see him, Astrid, and those 10 years of like him, Astrid, and his daughter living on their own wasn't necessarily essential to the story. Although I do wish we had seen maybe like flashbacks of like them getting caught and getting kicked out and like maybe them getting married. I think I would have liked to have seen a couple of chapters of that. What do you think?
You're frozen and now I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're back.
Okay. Can you
How
hear me
is this
now?
happening? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm on data. I'm not even connected into like Wi-Fi, and it still is.
I'm
I don't
wondering
know
if it's
how
my
this is
end. Let me
happening.
try connecting on my end. Okay. Let me go on to data as well. Let me try it. Let me see. Maybe it's because I honestly have no idea. Um I
I
don't
do like, so I like, even though the first half was hard to get into,
yeah.
or was a bit slower. I'm glad that I did it that way, because you're right, like we needed all of those essential relationship building blocks to really have the impact that we had in the latter half. Um, and I kind of like that we didn't get to see like the wedding part, because like when he went to revisit that area, it was like a surprise type of thing.
That's true.
So
That's
so
true.
I liked that was like, oh, like we're taken aback a little bit, because that's where it happened. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I like the way that it ended up playing out.
Okay.
Um,
Fair.
so I have so many questions. Um, Clarification point. This may be well, also side note, this may be a long live show because there's lots of things to go over and our issues with internet things. But um so one, I knew it from like, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad that we did halfway through, because I called it in the first half that they were dead.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And so I like knew, I'm glad that like we went through that, because there is now evidence that they were like, I knew it, that type of thing. Um
Yeah. I was like, "No, they're not."
but like, so my question is, Astrid coming in, like, was that just happening in his brain?
I think
Was
he's
she
hallucinating.
okay? Because
Yeah.
like, once we realized it was Astrid, I was like, wait, is she a vampire now? Like, did she get turned? And so that's why I was like, and then I thought like maybe the vampires were like projecting that into his brain, or if that's just him going crazy.
I think he's going
None of that
crazy.
was answered though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going crazy. I think he's like cuz every time he has those visions, I think he's low on blood or his sanctus. So,
Oh,
I
I did not
think
connect that.
I think comment below, tell me if I'm wrong, but um his
That's cool.
hallucinations get worse and he goes and like become more like tactile where he can like feel her when he needs more sanctus like the is.
You're frozen again.
Can you hear me at least though? No. You're unfrozen.
Very much struggling.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really cool theory if that is. I did not pick up on that. So if
Yeah.
that is, I hope it is, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Um, so favorite character. Your
Dior.
favorite your favorite character in the first half. Who was that?
It was Astrid. I really liked her.
Okay.
Um but I still like well, I really liked Chloe actually in the first half. I think I mentioned Chloe was one of my
Yeah.
favorite.
When I tell you that I like went on a roller coaster of emotions with her,
Oh my
that
god,
I
I
was like,
can't.
this is gonna get real spoilery, so if you haven't left, warning now. So when I really liked her in the first half,
Me too.
Dior is definitely my favorite character in the second half. Uh, I was heartbroken. And then when we found out like more about Dior, I was even more heartbroken, even though I was a little like, Dior is being petulant, because they were like, everybody leaves me. I'm like, bitch, she died. Like, no, she's not. She didn't leave you. She died. Like, what? I was slightly annoyed about that part with Dior. But when she came back, I was like overjoyed. And then when she betrayed her, I was just like, what is, I can't take any of
I
this
know.
anymore.
I know. That's why I kept sending you like exploding heads emojis because I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like this book threw me for a roller coaster. Like I actually texted Hannah like probably within like 50 pages of having started again, I was like, if it wasn't for the live show, I would probably DNF this book because it's not for me. It's really dark. I was like starting to fall asleep when we were like back at the initiate part where like they went to Aaron's birth
Yeah,
city.
book 5, yeah.
Yeah, I was like falling asleep. I was like, this is so boring. And then all of a sudden, like when he caught Aaron and Baptiste in the stables, I was like, wait, what? And then we jumped ahead to yeah, and then everything went crazy.
But the Raven, like, so I knew, like, because you had mentioned just specifically that chapter title, so I was like expecting something to happen there. And I
Yeah,
will agree, like, in the stables was a very good moment, but I kind of already called it because of in
really.
the chapter, the Raven child,
Uh-huh.
um, she talked inside his head, like Aaron's head, and mentioning the what whoever the
Sasha?
yes. Um, and it was alluding to that it was like a male romance
Really? I didn't catch that
being
at
hint
all.
yeah in that chapter because I was like, oh, okay. So then when I got to the Lionheart chapter, I was not surprised because she had
Really?
already mentioned that. I was
Mm,
surprised at the coupling, but I wasn't surprised that they were hiding it or that was like he was gay because it was alluded to 2 chapters or 2 or 3 chapters before that.
okay. I totally missed that Sasha. I missed that. Like I was expecting. I don't know. I was picturing female. Um. I guess I must have not caught on.
Oh, you're
Um.
frozen.
Oh dang it. So are you. Um. But I definitely was like. So I wasn't necessarily. I wasn't shocked or like, oh my
Oh,
God,
you're back.
that okay, perfect. I wasn't like shocked that Aaron was gay. Well, I was yeah, like it was the coupling, like you said, that um was like what? And like that they were actually in love.
Yeah.
And then like
Um,
knowing that they were together like 15 years later, I was like swoon.
yes, that they have like their own little like town, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this so much.
I do too. I do too. Um oh gosh, there's so much happened. Um, I love the relationship between him and Dior so much. Okay, did you know she was a girl? Did you catch on to any of that? Because I was like,
No,
WTF.
I
Okay.
did not call that. I liked that we like. I think that there could have been a very cool moment there that he could have worked in like non-binary. Um,
Oh.
and because like or transgender, but like either one, it could have been a cool moment to like work that representation in because it was like pretty much wrote in there without calling out that they were.
Mhm.
Um, but she still went by she her, and
Mhm.
she still like identified as a female. Although I really appreciate the fact that they went into like her trauma and the reason why she like binded herself
Mhm.
um out of protection with the coat and such. Um, I just think that there could have been a little bit more done with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
And she's
but I
also
like that.
like she's also it shows like female.
Yes, yeah. Um,
Yeah, I did really like that. Um I love that scene where she was like, "You have one too many." And he's like, "I only have one." And she's like, "Exactly. You have one too
yep.
many." So that makes a lot more sense. I have more respect for Saoirse now that she wasn't kissing a 14-year-old boy. It was more a 17-year-old girl
Yes.
because she's 19. So I was like, I don't know. I was a little cringed at that scene when I was like, what's a 19-year-old doing kissing a 14-year-old? Like, I didn't really approve of that. Um, but now that like I know she's 17, it definitely just makes it more heartbreaking, honestly, that like she died. That we
And
like
she
lost all of those
betrayed
characters.
her.
Saoirse?
Oh, Saoirse, yes.
Yeah.
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 Like
No,
Chloe betrayed her. That's what I was trying to.
So Chloe's dead, right? He killed her, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So one of
trying
the
to.
reasons why I thought the family was still like going back, Astrid and Patience were still alive, is because when I was looking at the back for the map, I saw a photo of him with Astrid and the little girl. So I just assumed like the family portrait, that was his family, and so I was like, oh, they're still alive. And that's not the case. Absolutely not the case.
Should have tabbed it where. Okay, so it's a chapter after the Raven Child. Oh, you're frozen again.
Chapter after the Raven Child.
Oh, I think you're back. Maybe? Yes.
Hi.
Okay.
Awesome.
So it's the chapter after the Raven Child. When Voss gets inside Adrian's head.
Yeah. Adrian or Aaron's?
Aaron's, because it's Aaron. Sorry, I just read Adrian.
Arrived in Costa. Is this when page like 440?
Yeah, it's around this.
Just looking for. Uh, 454.
Yeah.
I didn't think they used any sort of gender.
They didn't. I don't think.
Oh, he says boy lover.
Yeah, dost thou fear me, boy lover? So I kind of was expecting that to come back up because of
Got
how
it.
strongly he reacted in that scene.
Got it. I totally missed that word. Okay.
And the fact that it goes on like mocking him, saying like what he said of like, oh, he made me, like I didn't want to do this, so it was clearly a shame um in this part.
Yeah. Totally missed that. Good catch.
Yeah. Um, so I really like the that coupling.
Yeah.
Were you still shipping um the vampire, the Silver Saint at the end, and our lion, Gabriel?
Um, no, 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 no.
We got less and less of them as the story went on.
Yeah, we got less and less of them, and yeah, I don't think so. Not anymore. Um, I don't know. What do you think? I'm neutral.
I didn't really have a I didn't buy the Astrid thing. Uh I don't know. Like, this is one character that I don't ship with anybody.
I was just gonna say that actually. I was just gonna say I'm perfectly okay with him being alone. Um, Now my theory is Dior dead?
So is there gonna be a second one?
Well, yeah, this is book one.
Is it like labeled book one?
Yeah, right under vampire it says book one.
Oh shit. So I guess, are you planning on picking up the second one?
Uh, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to now.
Yeah, I care too much about Dior
Yeah,
to like not.
yeah, yeah. So now, like, my theory is she alive? Like, I am very curious because we still haven't gotten like uh the historian, the vampire said, he's like, we still have there's still so much of the story to go. Like,
Yeah.
um him killing the Forever King and all of that. So, um yes.
So part of me is like, is Dior connected to Gabriel in some way? Like illegitimate child, like
Okay, I have a weird theory. I am thinking, you know how they say um pale bloods can't come from the female, it's only
mhm,
males?
yeah.
That I have a theory though that something is with his mom, because she always says that like the lion runs in your veins or something. I think I think the powers are on his mom's side,
What, of
honestly.
Gabriel or
Mhm.
of
Of Gabriel.
oh.
So there could be a way, maybe they're
But
intertwining.
she has mentioned like my sins, or like that you bear my sins of my past.
Exactly.
Um
So it doesn't necessarily
and you
mean.
don't think that's her sleeping with the vampire?
I don't think so. I don't
You're
know.
frozen again. This is the worst.
I'm sorry. I truly don't know. Um, because she said I
Oh, you're
loved
back.
your father. Didn't she say I loved your father?
You're frozen. I missed like all of that.
She says I loved your father, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Hang on.
So you don't think that that's her saying like you bear the sins of my past,
I'm trying to
or my
find.
mistakes? You don't think that's someone she slept with?
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to find where the letter is.
Can we talk about the big like mind-blowing part at the end, the fact that like his sister's alive?
Oh my god.
Oh my
I
god.
thought it was Astrid for a second.
Oh yeah. No, I totally forgot about the sister, and then it like came up and I was like, "Oh shit." Like, and like the fact that she's so angry,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I was like, kudos, Mr. Kristoff. I was not expecting that at the end,
seriously.
and I was like, "Oh my god."
Where is it that they talk?
I think that's also going to tie into things because he was saying something like, if I drink from her 2 more times, I'm then enslaved
Wait, wait.
with the sister because she
Oh,
gave him part of her blood to like help her sustain him
okay.
at the end. And then there was that conversation that he was like, why did you help me? Like, it was that whole conversation. And then he was like, I've got to like, now that I know like who she is, like I only like 2 more times I drink from her and I will become enslaved type of thing. So I think that, like
Mm,
that was foreshadowing that that could like happen.
interesting. Wait, wait, wait. I can't find where he talks to the letter. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Um, that's okay. So another reason why, another thought was, why I feel like maybe it's the mother's line is because his sister has the same blood abilities. Did you notice that? She can move.
Yes.
She has the same abilities. So that's why I was thinking like, oh shit, like okay, I mean, is his sister also like, is that why she is able to like, I'm curious if like, if pale bloods, if they become vampires, if they're able to wield
You're
their,
frozen again.
I'm sorry, um if they're able to like wield their magic more or something. Like I know mentioned it was
If you
like,
guys can hear me, I'm sorry about this. Oh, you're back.
I can
This
hear
is
you.
horrible.
I know it sucks. But yeah, she has the same, I caught on to that. What does he call it? Sanguine something?
Yeah.
Um so I was like, why would his sister have that too?
I'm buying into it now. I'm totally on board with your theory.
Because like unless they share the same dad, unless they're like not just half but they're full.
But they have never seen the dad again. Like the dad was supposed to be like the elusive one, whatever. Like no one's seen the dad again. So like if it wasn't the mom's line and she happened to go back and sleep with this same vampire twice after siring an heir
Mhm.
and no one's seen him, I'm totally on board with your theory. I think it's probably her.
Okay. I'm glad it's not like too crazy of a theory.
No, well, and she died, right?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
he he saw the mom die.
but so like though, so if she is part of the bloodline,
Sorry, you're frozen.
can you still hear me?
Now I can.
Um, so there's a special way that you have to die if you are one of them. So wouldn't she have had to die in a certain way
I don't remember.
if she was part of the bloodline?
I don't remember.
Because they can only die by like silver, like that's what their weapons are, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
and she died in the church in the fire, right?
Yeah, that's another way. They have to get burned. That's how they can die.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then just some vampires of like elite
They're just
have
super
to die
powerful.
harder
Yeah, I
than fire.
guess. Yeah, maybe that's not enough.
How do you think Dior came about? Like I know that they said like, you know, like an asteroid or whatever, but do you think like they were actually made by an asteroid?
I have no idea.
I'm just like I don't know how to
It's a good theory.
it's so hard to pull apart between what the lore is inside of the book and what is
Mhm.
actually happening
Yeah.
versus, like what the believers believe in, what like is actually happening type of thing happening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Um, gosh, so much happened.
Okay, you are frozen again.
No. I said so much happened.
Okay, you're back. Spot to just call it because the internet connections are really bad.
I know.
So let us know down below what you think of these books. Or this book, if you're going to continue, who your favorite characters were. We want to know all the things. Next month, what's our next month's book? Is it Kingdom of the Wicked?
That was the first one. It's Kingdom of something, right? Kingdom of the Wicked was book 1.
Cursed. Kingdom of the
Cursed.
Cursed.
Kingdom of the
Yeah.
Cursed. Okay.
Is that what we've got coming up next?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that will be over on my channel next month. And then we have a short book for December because we know that everybody's going to be busy with holidays and such. So we are going to be reading The Mistake, which is the second one of the deal. So that'll be a lot of fun too. So,
what's it called? The
Mistake.
The Mistake. Okay. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting. Yeah. So Kingdom of the Cursed is next, which I think we already have the audiobook too, and then The Mistake.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
So let us know if you guys are gonna join us for those. Leave a comment down below. And I think that's gonna be it for Empire of the Vampire. We've been waiting for forever for this.
I know. Did you what are you gonna rate it on Goodreads? A 4 or a 5?
I will probably rate it a 5 because it's like it's at least a 4.5. Like it's
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And you know what? I bet book 2 is gonna be phenomenal because we have the world building now.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. Let's hope doesn't fall to the second book slump.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you for just bearing through this live show. And we will see you next month, which is going to be December. Do we have a day yet? The Tuesday. It's going to be December 7th.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, hope everyone has a good night.
Yep. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.